I didn't get a chance to record the intro of this live. I kind of did that all in one take. Little rough, but we're talking about the state of just lower tier Siege, and we're doing a demo review of one team. We're gonna see how that goes today. I'm not. I remember doing this. I wasn't impressed. I didn't enjoy it at all, and I only did one map. I did one map, took a look at the second, and just couldn't do it anymore. There's nothing to learn. There's nothing really to give teams a chance to improve on through that through that review, because quite literally what it came down to is they were making fundamental mistakes that everybody should know how to do in this day and age in this part of Siege. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Remember, all of that was done live. So I can fix some post mistakes, but other than that, I mean, it was done live. All right, it was done live. So first things first, we're here on Lair, typical comp setup. Like Grim, Capitao bands, pretty standard here. You also could substitute a Capitao for a Snake or a Deimos. Just as rule of thumbs, you could do an Ace, get rid of one of the hard breachers. Grim is solid. Always banning Grim in a comp setting. You're better safe than sorry. Grim is really powerful and can sit down or can lock down a lot of angles, provide a lot of information. Here, we'll put the music back on. That way it's not just me with stream tunes. Just because I can. Those are really good bands. The other thing you can do is if you think they're going to run a lot of shields and you did some prep, a shield ban works here. Like a Monty and a BB. Because most people aren't going to try and ban Warden in this. These are your defensive bans here that you can use on Lair. These are pretty good bans here. Defensively, I mean, a Mira ban, I personally don't like it. I definitely think there's better bans than Mira, like a Tachong, like a Smoke, one of the hard breach denials, like a Cade, possibly a Bandit. You could do double hard breach here. Another good one is going to be, it can be that Warden. Warden is a good band there. Another one is a Solus. You also could take out, just for this, you can keep the Azami ban. I like the Azami ban. I don't think it's entirely necessary, but it's still good. Or if the other team is a big Clash abuser, you can take Clash. Because if they play Clash a lot, they're definitely going to be playing at top and mid floor. They won't play it in the basement as much because there's a lot more you can do there with that basement room. But these are all good bans in place of a Mira ban here. If you ban Mira on Lair, either you're a brand new comp team or you're just not that confident that you can fight a Mira. Azami is typically a good ban. Another one you can do is a mute ban. Help keep a lot of the intel going, get your drones out. You can use Snake, you can still use Deimos, and it just helps a lot. But outside of that, let's see if he gives me a top down here. Hold on, let me clear this. Let's start playing this. Let's see if we can get the top down here. With this lineup, though, this just tells me they're most likely going for a more default take, maybe a little Pebbles lurk. But they're going to try and hit ops hard. They're going to open the main wall, probably try and walk up Rocket at the same time. And then this is just a default setting here, or default comp setup here. You have the smoke to help for plant denial, as well as to lock down either rocket or display here. Tachanka for late round denial. Clash is just info here, kind of help stop pushes, anything fast. Denari, just a trap, although I would have liked to see a Thorn here instead. Probably help a lot more with these traps and these pushes. That Denari setup, I don't know if I like that Denari setup. But here we go. Here's a good top down here. With the Clash here opening this up, I mean, I don't like it. It can be good, but I don't necessarily hate it. But I don't like it. If that makes sense. You have the Gridlock here. Gridlock's probably going to try and nade this rotate, force Clash here with someone on the window to create that pressure, and then nade here to force her back up Mez. Try and catch her off guard as the team is walking up Rocket here and taking Rocket. Looks like Buck's going to come in. They're probably going to try and Buck below Clash just for additional pressure. This definitely looks like a lot of util going to be expended here to try and get this Clash as a non-factor. I wish I had the replay file, because that would make this so much easier. But it is just your standard ops main wall push. Very one-dimensional, very weak to a Skybridge take here, because this door is still closed. They have nothing to stop this pressure and stop Thermite from getting peeked from these Skybridge windows and getting taken down. Thatcher could be on the roof trying to hold this, but he can only hold one window at a time, and he has to hit an insane shot. But there is a way to peek Skybridge and peek this breach without being seen from the roof. So just as a rule of thumb, if you ever go for a heavy main wall exec, you need something to stop someone coming up Dino, up Green, or out U-Haul to retake Skybridge. But here's the snake entering below. Gets spotted out on the cam, and that Soliton scanner makes it so nice. He just doesn't quite have it out enough, looking for his Buck to walk with him. And now they're going to try and power... Who is this down here? I think that's their Denari. Now they're going to try and power this Denari to be able to walk up Rocket, create that Mez pressure. See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, they're fully prepared to target Clash here up on Mez and towards that ops wall. But there's definitely better operators you could have brought here. You could have brought a Flores to try and cover this walk here with a Flores drone. As Buck's bucking below, throwing the nade here to stop her from walking. With the Capitao ban, probably would have liked to see a Nomad here instead of this Thatcher, most likely. But outside of that, just smaller things here that you could, can change and you can adapt to if you ever see someone run the Clash in the setup here. Oh yeah, here's the Buck bucking below to create pressure on Clash. However, it's a little mistimed because no one is in ops yet. They don't have any sort of Mez control, any sort of Rocket Stairs control. So they're walking this a bit prematurely. Grid's finally walking in, but there is that long angle from deep on Mez that you do have to be worried about. And look, Warden's playing it perfectly here. If he has barbed or something on his walk up, he can kind of focus to fight this a lot more. But instead, he's just going to play tucked to try and fight Rocket Stairs, which I don't necessarily like. Clash just abandoning her shield too quickly here. You should not be dropping your shield right here at all if you're Clash. You should hold on to that and just play human drone. Yeah, they have Mez and can walk you like this, and Buck's below. Snake's going to try and walk up Rocket, but right now, you're clear entirely on your back. The only pressure they have is from ops and below. So you can walk in, walk back to site like this, kind of give Mez a little, but you're more valuable with your shield in this situation. And 9 times out of 10 more valuable with this shield up than with it placed down like this, easily to be ready and easily destroyed by one of the nades from Gridlock, a snake nading up from bottom Mez to try and deal with this. This is just a bad spot for Clash to be in general. Because you have so much you have to worry about from here. Grid can throw her grids over to bait you to start walking back either this way or try and force you into sight without destroying the shield. But the moment they see that shield's down, I expect a nade to be coming out from Grid here to destroy that shield. Yep, there it is. Shield destroyed, and now Clash is just a gun. And in a really bad position. Warden takes up this power position here on Rocket Stairs, which is good. But with the loss of Mez and your Clash's shield, he just overswung there. You, as this Warden, should not be trying to engage a fight down here on bottom stairs. You have the shotgun. Play to your angle here, play to your strengths, and just fight for control of this here. The longer you can hold this, and the longer your teammates can hold that long angle from sight to Mez, the more likely you can force them into a late round execute and force them to panic. He just overheated here. Snake was ready for it. Like, just good play out of the Snake here. Clash gets aggressive to try and find the refrag. And then Denari with the flank. That's another thing Warden should have waited for. If his Denari comms that he's walking through med, then he can just hold him there, get the flank on the Snake, and now all of a sudden we're in a 4v5 as opposed to a 4v4. But look at, I want you to pay attention to what both these both dead teammates do throughout the round. Right now, both of them are just watching. No one's on drones, no one's on cams. Any good team is going to exploit that heavily because now they know, they do their research. Hey, these guys don't sit and watch cams. So we don't have to worry about walking through a hallway with a default cam still up because they most likely aren't going to watch it. Now Buck's going to try and fight for this Rocket Stairs because it looks like they're on a heavy Mez take. If they were a good team, they would have sent a drone over to flip. Give me that top down real quick. Sorry, this is my first time doing this on stream. If they were a good team, they would have had a drone in here, droning out all of display, all of R6 room, as well as U-Haul, Skybridge, and weapons, because this could potentially be a big lurk. Tachanka's more focused on the mask wall plant. If there's nothing on this walk, and this door's already open, he can just walk in. He has a free kill on Tachanka. He can take all of our 6 room. He could walk into server and fight this Denari on these head holes as his team's trying to flood through display and back through pebbles. You can plant here on the default here. It keeps you safe. With the Tachanka gone, can't really fight it. Clash doesn't have a shield, and Denari's here, but he's stuck in display. He can't jump through. He can't jump through the server breach because your Thatcher's now here holding this. Denari just came up Rocket Stairs. So you know all. So in any instance, after you kill Tachanka, you know all 3 are going to be over towards that Mez side, which just gives you so much space to work with over here. But that's not what they decide to do. They decide to stick really hard with this Mez take. And in the end, I do believe it ends up working for them. But look at how much space is over here that they could have taken if they had the proper drone work. Even if you were sitting out here on breach, jumping in through green and walking, perfect. I mean, Denari's dead. He just gets over aggressive and gets peeks and just dies. Gives a body for free. But if you have this identified, there's nothing in this U-Haul as far as I know. So you just have this walk all for free. You find Smoke and you find Tachanka. Worst case, you walk in a little deep, find Tachanka first, and then Smoke gets the refrag. But then you're back in the situation. You're in a 3v4. Or you wouldn't be in a 3v4 after this. You would be in a 4v or a 3v2, which is perfect for you because it ends up as a 2v2 at the end of the day because one of you still has to plant. But Ace's insight here. Tachanka's ready to fire this. Smoke's already smoking the default Mez wall and then mask wall. Buck's taken Rocket. Clash is just holding those feet holes. Buck doesn't have to walk up any further. Just having this cut is good, while the rest of his team can walk up Mez. Because just someone sitting here, this is their line of sight onto Mez. So you can sit right here and challenge through this door. And with your ACOGs, you have a better chance of winning this, or just spreading past this angle and holding a cut here. That's just something to keep in mind, is Buck's in a good position. He doesn't have to get too aggressive. He can just hold this walk and this cut here. See, exactly what I said. Thatcher, I'm going to be honest, gets a little deep here. Ace can be planting right now. Grid has this walk as well as this. Buck has this. Thatcher's just too deep. Thatcher could have sat here, held this walk, and now you have an unlosable cross because this is what you have in terms of a crossfire. Everyone is close enough to be able to refrag while your ace is planting. Thatcher does good. Thatcher going deep though does find the first kill. However, let's go back a little. This is the issue with Thatcher going this deep. It now opens this, because if Clash swings, kills Buck, that's one isolated 1v1. You can then take another isolated 1v1 on Gridlock, because Ace cannot fight Clash if she's right here in this 90. And that's exactly what happens. Clash just finds her one, she wins her ones, and all of a sudden, now you're in a 2v2. Or now you're in a 1v2. This is why Thatcher going this deep was a really bad play out of him. Again, he could have just sat here on this, held the double door from desk. If he sits crouched here, you can kind of see Smoke's head if he jumps up or stands up. Smoke has to crouch walk through this, and by then, Thatcher has just this entire area locked. Gridlock has this and can watch this while Buck holds this. It's just a bad post plant and a bad execution out of this, because why is Buck leaving Rocket? If Buck stays on Rocket and plays a little deeper, it forces Clash to swing out wider. Clash just gets an isolated one onto this Gridlock, wins the fight. Now Ace is completely alone planting in the site. Clash wins this, or Clash does not win that against Ace. She gets really close in this round, and that is why your crossfires and communication are important, as well as learning and reviewing this for proper, and I mean really proper, post-plant situations. So let's look at this. Clash has one isolated 1v1 here. Clash can swing out, has an isolated 1v1 here. Thatcher is a non-starter right now. You don't have to fight. You're not in a single position where you have to worry about Thatcher here. You have one on Ace, one on Buck. Both are 1 health. There it is. She wins her one on Ace. Now, you're here. You still have an isolated 1v1 if you leak out this way a little bit. Or if you leak out this way a little bit. Because if you leak out and path back this way a little bit, you can see this Buck crossing. And now you're down to a 1v1 on the Thatcher. They play this so disjointed and so poorly that Clash could have won. Look at this. Look at the amount of space that Buck has allowed Clash to take. Clash swings out, finds Thatcher. This is a miscommunication here on this team. Flat out. There is no world in that 4v1 that Clash should have even come this close to winning this round. Absolutely no world that should have come as close as that did. And this is just the first round. I'm going to be completely honest. I had to stop watching this game after that first round. There was nothing valuable here that I could have gotten. But I'm going to break it down for everybody so that way you guys know what to look for when you're VOD reviewing, know how to analyze it from a coaching and a player's perspective, so you know what to do. Hold on. I just saw something I need to send my IGL as well as Grizz. Okay, let me start back on this prep phase real quick. With how late that this defense was picking their ops, it tells me they weren't exactly set. They don't have their notes on what they're trying to do each defensive round. And it's just a mess. I figured it out. I know how to get it full screen now. But from the look of this, it looks like they're going to do almost... It looks like they're going to do a light extension with a bunker, or with more of a bunker presence. Barbed on the dino window, a thorn on the walk as well. Doesn't really cover the dino stairs. If you're smart and you're someone who can drone that and is good at taking gaps, you can see that and recognize, hey, I can walk down the stairs if I hug that far wall and avoid both the thorn trap and the barbed wire while not making any noise except for walking. They are going to do the typical weapons extension here. They're going to open this hatch so that way they can fall back. They're going to reinforce this wall. They, in actuality, should reinforce both of these walls, create a rotate here, reinforce this wall, and put head holes along here, reinforce that wall to watch the deep walk, and leave this wall, or put head holes here, and maybe make a rotate here, a good little crouched one, maybe a vault one. Or you can reinforce this, make head holes here, and make it on both sides and play this hard wall. The only downside with head holes here is if they walk through Mez. If they walk through Mez, you're a little weak through this door and these head holes from the Mez, or from the reception door. So that's why I wouldn't necessarily say it's the best idea. But it works. It's typical setup here. When you extend a Mez, you reinforce this hatch. You're kind of weak if they flood through reception. You're kind of weak if you flood through reception. And they walk. They're going to be making... Realistically, you should probably make your vault rotate here and reinforce this wall. Yes, it allows a little deeper line of sight from the stairs here. But it's a little bit of a trade-off because now you have an easier time watching this window hopping from deeper in the site. They're going to set up blue, kind of hold this. This is just a bad Mel spot. because you can slightly jump in this window, and if this wall is reinforced as opposed to this one, you're safe to jump in a little and you can shoot that Mel instantly. Or if you're Brava, you can hack it just from the window. Okay, they are opening it like I thought they would. But it's just head holes. There's no vault rotate, nothing. And then just standard reinforcements here. Always reinforce those because you can play inside of this warehouse with those walls reinforced. Feet holes here. Some people like to reinforce that wall. I think it's really sixes. Reinforced rock or reinforced missile wall. Like missile wall, you don't have to reinforce. You can leave it a little soft. SR leaves it soft when they play Lair because they focus more so on that upstairs presence because Vert will kill you on this site. And it's really easy. And it's really, really easy to just drop site, drop these hatches, and get back into these site positions to be able to hold for a hard warehouse rush. Because this is what a warehouse rush is going to look like. You're going to have two coming through warehouse, take this space. You're going to have one on barrel's window holding a cut if anyone's playing here and you can't get this wall open. And then you're probably going to have someone lurking in through archives. But here we are with this. It just looks like a standard upstairs take, top down. They're just going to... If they're smart, they're going to walk through ops to just take Mez quick to walk down rocket. Have someone walk in through Dino to kind of backstab the weapons guys. But it looks like they're range heavy here. Get the call on the Thorn playing inside of reception. Soft med wall, no rotate here for the blue players. Like, this is just a very, very sloppy site setup. And if I'm the attacking team, their weakest spot here is this Dino walk. If someone walks down Dino and gets to this point, they don't even have to walk all the way down. Because there's no rotate here, they can just walk down to here and hold this walk. Meanwhile, you flood a shield in through weapons, kind of face check this door, face check this. And at the first sign of pressure, Thorn should be walking back through med, out through green and back down blue. But you also should have had somebody entering through ops upstairs to kind of walk down this to prevent that. So just keep in mind, this rotate if you're extending upstairs is essential. But there's not even head holes here. There's not head holes here. It's just soft. Just a very, very sloppy site setup. Almost like they thought, oh, well, this is the site right here. And this is what we have to protect the most, as opposed to this right here with all the soft floor in the hatch. So it's just it's unbelievably unbelievably sloppy. If I'm an IGL seeing this, if I'm a coach seeing this and seeing how they play this Lair, I want them to pick Lair. I want them to feel like they can pick Lair and be comfortable on Lair. Because there's so much weak. They're weak to this green walk. If I walk in through green, now I can just plant a body here, cut off the blue walk, cut off the blue rotate. Someone walks down Dino, can shoot through this wall, kind of get this Legion out of position. A hold for Thorn as she kind of walks back through med. Like, it actually is just terrible. It's just a miserable site setup. And if I'm the other team, if I'm back to back and I'm looking at this and VOD reviewing this, I'm immediately starting to think about this. Because there's no barbed for the walk here. There's not even a thorn trap for the walk. There's nothing. And then I'm looking at this rotate, looking at how this is positioned. Because, yeah, someone can sit on this and walk. This on the window is useless. Most teams, they're not going to try and jump through this window until after they have control of weapons and armory, as well as someone probably sitting here on green. Because if you have someone here on green, you have this control. You aren't too worried. You're a little worried about the yellow flank, but you aren't too worried about someone walking up yellow. You aren't too worried about med because you have this control set off. And you aren't worried about upstairs dino because you've already have bodies here. You're clearing this, getting ready to power the blue stairs guy, and then you have someone on filter window to watch Mel's rotate back. But I don't like Mel playing here. I traditionally like either an Azami, a Smoker, or a Warden playing this. Someone with a shotgun or someone who can play a power spot here really well, like an Azami. Mel playing here just screams slight pressure on blue, and Mel falls back to site. Or falls back to site. So this is just a very, very sloppy setup. It would fold under a proper coordinated team, and I think it does. Drone finds out the Thord. They actually have someone outside rocket door. Habana gets killed through her own hole she makes. Legion's fighting this hard. This is where they needed to recognize that Dino's a gap. Just get caught out with utility and just allow this Thorn to walk. Like, that's a beautiful play out of the Storm. Can't really counter that, aside from maybe having drones in better positions. Either having your just having drones in better positions to recognize this, have your reception guy activate a little bit earlier. Because now this is just a 4v1. You got one trade, and it wasn't even really a trade. You had to claw and fight for that pick back, and you lost 3 bodies for the pick. And then back to back, again, just getting way too aggressive on these holds. If they all just backed off, they give him space to work with, it's going to force him to have to clear so much more before trying to walk through. Fucking what the fuck is this observing? See, now they're playing it smart because now he's been given this much, or all of this space. He's not going to know what to do with it because you could have someone here holding for this walk and he is Snake, so he can check that. Could have someone here holding for this walk. Could have someone deep in reception over here, just playing off of his contact or his contact, able to swing out and catch Snake in transition if he's here trying to fight this. Or if he's out wide trying to fight this, you can swing out. There he is. He's isolated. But it forces him to have to clear this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle, this angle. Someone sitting here. Someone prone behind the desk. And again, while it is a Snake and he can do it well, it's just a lot more he has to think about. And Warden's playing it smart here as he hears Snake walk up. He walks back, gives him the space to work, force him to come to him. It wastes time because he has to clear all of this. Okay. We just missed the end of that round. Like I get that he's a volunteer, but this is pathetic. And I wonder if I still have one of our scrims and I can kind of point out good siege. Yeah, and an instant rehost here. And this, let me get past it. They go back upstairs for this third site. And I think he missed a good. He didn't miss a good chunk. Oh, I think he misses a good chunk of the round. Oh, yeah. See, yeah, he misses a good chunk of this round. Like, it's insane. Missed all of prep phase on this. Can't even really see. Missed all of the pick phase. Like, I get probably, but again, a little bit more of a bunker hold. They have, if all they have is a Goyo on that walk, I'm droning that out and I'm sending somebody either up green to walk U-Haul or just walking through Pebbles while the rest of the team pulls them all from Pebbles side towards Ops and Mez side. This is just poor. Like, it's a decent Denari setup. Kind of prevents the shields walking. But it doesn't do a lot to deter the type of push that Team Halo likes to bring. They brought the Twitch to kind of deal with the Denari and the Goyos. That's about it. Everything else, I mean, they brought the Ace instead of the Thermite to be able to open those longer line of sights a lot quicker. They have Skybridge control. That's an improvement, but no Ghost opening Pebble's door. And it looks like they recognize this and are trying to flip to flood through Pebble's side, which I don't like. I don't like you flipping your attack just off of one drone walk and not putting. Oh, they haven't flipped yet. That's good ish. Snake being the lurk here that I talked about last round. They recognized it. They made the adaptation. They're just trying to walk this too quick. Like, Snake is making too much noise and he just leaves. If he just sits there on Dino stairs and forces Goyo to either stick here the entire time, leaving it a 4v4 over here on the site. Okay. Like, I don't understand this attack. I don't get what they're trying to do. Nothing here, like, display window still closed. There's no ghost pressure anywhere. You had someone walk Skybridge just so you can open the door. Hey, guess what? Oh wait, sweet! I can run my own ads now. There's no scheduled ads. Oh, there they are. They're back. Anyways, like, I don't get it. I don't get how these lower teams aren't seeing what's going on in the upper echelons of this game and trying to replicate it best they can with drone work, with practicing, with scrimming. And they just think, oh, we can just play ranked and then play in a league. We'll be fine. Like, it's actually frustrating. Because again, you have this Valk here. You could have sent a Twitch drone in, taken down this Valk cam. Now Valk doesn't have the C4 anymore. Called way too early. Wasted Nitro Cell trying to get that pick. Buck here, again, they're just doing the same exact take over and over. Clash gets hit a little bit. Yes, it worked last time because Clash placed her shield. Look, she's smart now, able to walk back. Sky on Rocket Stairs gets too aggressive again. Like, you have to learn to not fight this and just be able to play set. Denari's going to come in for a flank, retake this as all this noise is being on, or as all this noise is being generated. Thatcher, I mean, perfect. Denari finds one and immediately leaves. Perfect. How he's supposed to play that. Snake tries to catch Denari off, downs him. Like, if I'm Denari, I probably just go Rat in Dorms, expecting Snake to make this play. Twitch walks up Mez. We're in a 3v3, pretty similar health. If anything, Team Halo has a little bit more of an advantage. But their ace has breach open. Not really good. Wasted 2 ace charges on that. Oh, my headphones are my headphones died. Hold chat. Hold chat. Hold. 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 Alright, we're good. Oh, wait, I forgot to tell people I'm live. Hold on. I need to move you back over here. I just like it better on my third monitor over here. That way I can see it. See a lot more of chat. And just have the space to do so. And have the space to do everything. Crazy. Twitter not working. Is Twitter gonna function this time? If not, I'll just do it from my phone. I'll just do it from my phone. Anyway, Clash in a good position here. When you're in situations like this, 3v3, Clash does need to play gun up, but you still have to play conservative with that shield. Clash does good to get Snake. They kind of just stacked on this door a little too much. Snake could have waited for Twitch to throw this smoke first and then tried to nade behind the desk. Or he can peek out a little bit here, come a little further back, and bank this nade here. But just gives over a free body to the Clash, allows a pick to happen. This wall is still closed. Ace probably could have thrown the ace charge through the breach to get it. Clash is able to escape. Shield still up, slowing him down, allows the Clash to peek out. Ace gets one, and they are just looking the wrong way. Now they have the information that Ace was breach. Off the kill alone, you probably should have had breach information, and then they just play this perfectly. Ace has to walk this and find at least one kill. Preferably both. He shouldn't be trying to play for plant in that situation. Try and fight for that. So it's just fundamentals that are lacking here. It is lower tier siege, I get it. But it doesn't excuse you trying not to get better by learning your fundamentals to be able to fight this. And just improve, because the biggest thing you'll notice is the more often you have your fundamentals set and you fight these fundamentals, the better off you'll be in the long run. Because you can fight these higher tier teams because you can fight them if you're just fundamentally solid, consistently playing crossfires, having good drone work, good information. I'm only going to be breaking down map 1 because I'm going to be honest, map 2 and map 3 were just hell. They're going to play dorms here, and from the looks of things, it looks like they're going for a top setup, but Solus still on the board here. I don't know why you have, and to be honest, I don't know why you have a Cade. Should be Solus. Don't know why you have an Ella. This should be a Tachanka. Thorn's good for the Pebbles walk, the Mez walk, and just good traps. But should be a Solus and a Tachanka here instead of a Caden and Ela. Like, I would get an Ela pick if they were bringing shields consistently, but this team hasn't run a single shield, so I don't know why you're bringing Ela. Like, I actually don't. When you can have better operators for better post plant, better setup, and Team Halo's just gonna play right into their setup here. They're gonna fight through display, fight through bathroom and Mez. The Lion's able to just jump in off of a drone. Look how much space they have in 60 seconds. Okay, this is just gonna be suffocating for this defense. Information on the Mez guy. The flash comes out, gonna blind one. Trades go through. Your smoke's down. Your smoke should never be fighting early in these situations. He's gonna end up being your win con for post plants. Or for plants and late rounds. Should have been your Ela here, but Cade does good to get your refrag. Warden and Smoke in this setup should not be fighting. Nitro Cell goes out, gets the ram, prevents Vert from being played. Dokkaebi gets spotted out on the cam. And then Thorn just gets lucky with a Smoke Bane. Downs the Lion. But a really disjointed and disconnected attack. Lion should never have been caught out here. I don't know where the ram died. Nomad died on the window, getting a little aggressive, as opposed to just holding for the display guy to either walk back and try and flood back through the R6 room door, or jump in through server after flashing him out and your teammates fighting in bathroom, especially with the amount of Mez control they had. But we're down to a 2v4. I mean, it is what it is. You're gonna have to just fight for picks back in this. I'm looking for isolated 2v1s, 1v1s, kind of like the Storm gave. If you're Dokkaebi, you just have to win that fight. Now you're in a pretty much unwinnable round. Ace does good to get one back, but in a 3v1, you should not be winning this round at all if you're Ace. But they're so isolated. Ela's trying to rush back to take the shield as Ace is walking here. If Ace is doing that, Thorn should be here taking this space, walking up if it's called. I just don't think there's any communication going on at all. Cade's off here and U-Haul doing absolutely nothing and being useless. If anything, Cade should have stuck around here to hold this, to allow Ela to play in server, play for this walk and refrag as Thorn holds this, or Ela should be playing deeper here to kind of hold this and walk out safely if needed. Thorn helps hold this cross and force Ace to either drop this hatch or just walk down green. So I don't really like this setup. They're too isolated because you have a one here, a one here, and a one here. No one's in a position to refrag. No one's in a position to help. And if you know anything about winning clutches, you just have to isolate and win your ones. If you isolate 1v1s... See, now they're playing a little bit more connected with the Ela here as well. Cade here. Cade on full health. Kind of playing a little aggressive, although he shouldn't be. He should be the one playing safe. Thorn walked up bathroom hall. And he's either going to try and walk Mez on him and fight, or just hold the walk, so he has to walk in here into the cross from the Thorn, the cross from the Ela, And if Cade sat deeper, maybe here on Pebble's door, can kind of swing out and fight as need off contact. But overall, not a terrible recovery for the defense to hold this. But there was just too much time where isolated 1v1s, and Cade gets way too aggressive here. He should not have peeked out at all. He needed to stay set here and play off the contact from the Ela. Or force him to walk and have Ela play off his contact. In just this situation that I see here, I have no idea if Thorn's in server or if Thorn's out here towards Mez. If Thorn's out here towards Mez, then realistically it should be Ela who takes first contact, followed by a Cade swing. If Thorn's here in server, both of these guys are sitting here and sitting here playing for these respective walks in case Thorn gets taken down and Thorn has first contact. That's how you play these. That's how you win a lot more rounds, a lot safer. Yeah, it's boring. Yeah, you're not going to get those clip heavy. Oh, but I want to swing and get the kill because I want to prove that. I guarantee you, if coaches see you playing fundamentally solid like this, they're going to want to take that over all this flashy, inconsistent aim that you see out of these lower tiers. If you really want to make it in this game, you need to learn those fundamentals and be disciplined. If you can show that you have discipline from your start all the way up to any sort of higher echelon level, a lot of coaches, a lot of analysts, and a lot of teams are going to want to pick you up over some of these other flashier rank stars. That's one of the reasons why Kaysen also got picked up. Is because Kaysen, good aim, really high mechanics, but overall, he was fundamentally solid at the same time. Kaysen did everything right. But I will be right back. I've been muted. Professional streamer, by the way. Anyways, very, very rarely do you bring a vigil. You shouldn't be bringing vigil often, especially with the snake ban. With snake band, vigil kind of just goes out the window in terms of utility. He's got the boss G. I mean, yeah, it's a good weapon, but you get 2 shots. He has the SMG-12, which is a really good secondary. He has 2 impacts, but outside of that, what, he can hide from drones. Still gets Dokkaebi called. This team doesn't run Deimos, so why are you bringing the vigil? When you can bring a mute and accomplish functionally the same thing, only with more denial, and it forces them to have to clear mute jammers instead of just sending a drone through and then going gun up and trying to fight. Because now they can't get any information past that mute jammer. They can only see what they can see with their drone on the outskirts of it. And if your mute's good, then he's not going to be able to see anything. So let's get back to this and just kind of see Vigil just, or not Vigil, Goyo just missing drones. But no, yeah, with this Blitz play, this Dokkaebi, the Flores, and the Ace, kind of seems like it's going to be a little bit of a faster pace round. Or they're going to try, yeah, they're going to go for a little bit of a faster pace round, a little more traditional, just straight warehouse take. Get the info on the warehouse guy. If they're going for this, I don't know why they have a Ram. Like, you could have brought anybody else. Could have brought a Deimos, a Brava, a Twitch even to try and help with the Goyos. On top of the Flores. Flores is just there to clear Mel's. Like, Flores really is just there to clear Mel's, barbed wire, maybe Goyos if you can get close enough. But a Twitch Shear would have dealt with the Ella, would have dealt with the Goyos. While a Brava instead of the Ram would have taken care of the Mel's. Like, I don't get some of these comp setups. I don't get why you think you have to have a Brava for this. Vigil, Mel get caught out. They're going to make some Vert here to try and fight for this. Play some Vert. Vigil's just going to continue to walk up. And I mean, again, this is a situation where instead of a Vigil, let's say you have either a mute, kind of place a jammer there. Now they can't drone into this, and you're free to play deep here. Or, it's not what I wanted to do. Or you have... Or you have, you know, a Mozzie here. And then you have that same functionality as mute. You have the Ronin or the Commando, whichever you choose. And you have that secondary shotgun to be able to make Vert. Alright, night mode, where are you at? Then you have that secondary shotgun to make Vert to fight this. You can get drones. You just get a lot more utility out of a Mozzie, a mute, even a Clash's Band. Hell, even a Cav would be more utility here, because you can just silent step your way through yellow and through reception. Although this one's kind of last resort there. Just not really... Shouldn't really be a Cav there, but you could bring a Cav, mute, Capcan. Who else? Come on, let's just brainstorm this real quick. What other operators do you think could be here as opposed to this Vigil? If you said Echo, Maestro, if you said Thorn, if you said an Aruni, if you said a Tube, you'd be right. Look at all of this that you can have instead of this Vigil. Ella, I mean, correctly, kind of got lucky with the shield pick there, but could have had. I'll DM you on Twitter later, Greg, but could have had a Denari. That's another one that could have been in place of this Vigil. Could have had, again, the Thorn. Could have been not a Mel. We already have a Mel. Again, an Aruni. Mute. Smoke. Mozzie. Echo. Like, there's so many more. There's so many more operators you could have had instead of this. Hell, Wamai. Jaeger. Hold chat. I like the Asian one that throws ice walls. Who? Are you talking about Sage? Just entirely different from Siege. Sage isn't even in Siege. I DM'd you on Twitter, Greg. What Asian one that throws ice walls? I don't know who you're talking about. Are you talking about Tuberal? Because Tube's not a... Tube might be Asian. Let's see. Who else? Oh, Azami? Azami's banned. Who else? We're just gonna sit here and list operators that you could have had in place of these two. Mira's banned, Clash is banned, Azami's banned. Who else? Who am I forgetting? Fuck, even a Doc would have been better than this Vigil here. Because at least Doc has barbed. Doc has barbed, a BP. Like, there's so much more a Doc could have brought to this lineup than a Vigil. Hey, this is just a ranked lineup. This is a ranked lineup. And for some reason it works. Capcan. I mentioned Capcan earlier. Like, Capcan you could have had instead of that Vigil. Prevents denial, forces them to think, forces them to have to clear Capcans, made them wish they would have brought a Twitch. Again, Maestro, Echo, more info ops, Valk even. C4 from Warden just takes down Ram. Dokkaebi here trying to fight this Vigil. Calls... Alright. Real quick here. For everybody that plays Dokkaebi, I want you to look at this doorway, and see the potential angle. Someone could have been playing close, heard you get on. Someone could have been deep, called and walked up as you were putting your iPad down. Now you're dead. Someone could have been playing and ratting in reception. Walk out. You're dead. You need to find safer places to initiate your calls. Any decent... Vigil just distracts her. Any decent player or decent team would have recognized that sound cue and swung you a lot quicker with your tablet out. That's all it is. So just be more aware of where you're going, and then they just kind of get collapsed on. No coordination out of the attack from this team, just winning fights. The team's going great. We're doing really well. We have... I don't know when we have game days, but we have game days. At some point. I don't want to listen. I'm ignoring this guy on purpose. We're in a timeout. I mean, what Rocket League decal? Oh, we have a Rocket League team. Whether they'll make a major or not, I don't know. I don't know enough about Rocket League or the Rocket League scene. But if I'm Team Halo in this timeout here, I'm calling. If I'm the coach for Team Halo in this timeout, I'm calling for more drones. That's a B. More droning. More gap taking. Settling these guys down, fixing their mental. Just being positioning. That's just what I've noticed in these 5 rounds. But in actuality, I would have just skipped this timeout, would have let them play this out, talked at halftime when I have 2 minutes to settle them down, 2 minutes to get them right and get them straight for the second half. I personally feel like the timeout was wasted there. I would have called it a lot sooner. If I was the Halo coach, I definitely would have called that timeout a lot sooner. I probably would have called it back in round 3, right before bans, maybe round 4, not round 6. But we've seen this team hold 2 sites. Basement, top floor. Basement, top floor. Lost top for the first time, so they went to basement. Yeah, that's what happened. Lost top floor, went to basement. One basement. Well, they went to 3 sets because I guess they did win dorms because they kind of the attack kind of just fell apart miserably. I don't. VOD reviewing this is going to be hard for Team Halo. So I damn. I really thought about trying to get the DZ scrim. I just there's not a lot more that I can kind of criticize about this game because it's just consistently the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. Not droning enough, not recognizing gaps enough. Defense is giving over fights they don't have to give. The attackers aren't bringing anything to clear this utility. Makes me think that they aren't even droning in the prep phase. Because if I recognize even just a Fenrir Thorn even just a Goyo, I'm immediately thinking of, hey, maybe leave the Dokkaebi, bring a Twitch, help clear out some of that utility, or leave the Sense, bring a Brava, bring a Twitch, bring something to help with the utility clear so you aren't just having to walk in it and dry clear it. Even dropping the Blitz here would have been a better play than bringing what they have. But just default setup here. Teams aren't shooting default cams. Like, this is common down here. And I kind of want teams to recognize that. They're playing fast here.
Walking Pebbles here, going for the C4 double pebble.
Yeah, no, I'm not listening to him cast. I'm sorry. The U-Haul walk here into the Warden. Thermite's...
They gotta get a kill in the next 30 seconds here. It's very...
Thermite's already dead.
Who?
Yeah, Thermite's already dead here. There's just... Dokkaebi's here trying to hit a Meslurk, but there's not enough pressure and eyes being pulled off of Dokkaebi. Thorn's able to focus here, Goyo's here because they're up a body. They make the call to power Dokkaebi. Dokkaebi gets tags, but I just see very disjointed work from the attackers. These two are over here doing but fuck nothing. You have no one over here in display making pressure. Dokkaebi's trying to solo lurk and make a play. Meanwhile, I have no idea where this Nomad's at. Oh, there's 3 of them over there doing nothing. The main wall's not even opened. Dokkaebi does really well to get one here and pull a couple eyes. But look at this. Look at how much is being pulled here, and these guys aren't doing anything about it. You have a drone following in off of Dokkaebi making the call, hey, I've got 3 on me, or I've even just 2. Now you're even. You're a 3v3 here on this site and able to walk. But right now, look, Dokkaebi's dead, allowed Goyo to reset, allowed Warden to reset, allowed Fenrir to reset, allowed Denari to just sit in ops, maybe run Skybridge. The Sense Wall here to try and block this side off and force a 3v1 onto this Goyo. Doesn't quite reach far enough, so maybe Sense needs to throw another one in, kind of angle it off this wall and send it in. I don't get this Sense play. I don't get this Sense wall going up. I understand this one to try and force the 3v1 onto the Goyo here. But I don't get this one. It telegraphs where you're going to be planting and for C4s to come over, for impacts to break these walls, allow line of sights. Sense just runs in. No drone, no info, no nothing. I don't even know where this Nomad's at. But Blitz is in, full sprint. Warden shoots at his toes. Warden activates. Blitz is in the Fenrir. Like, this is just a collapse on this attack and this flood. This Sense Wall was good if you hug this wall and have information to fight and kind of isolate this Goyo. Oh, Celtic, you have no idea how bad this was. Look at this. Like, what is this? Let me go back and show you. Okay, look at this. You have a fight here, one body there, one body there. You now know Thorn's walking up on you. Safe to assume that you're getting powered by another body. Why are these 3 still just sitting back on Pebbles with not a drone in front of them? Knowing, hey, we can take that space in through the Pebbles side door. Instead, gives them enough time to bring Fenrir back, Goyo back, and Warden back to reset. And then Sense just kind of wastes this first wall. Oh, I see what happened. The Goyo got popped and it kind of blew the Sense wall apart. That's fine. Like, I get that. I get the Sense wall. But look at this. Celtic, look at this. If Sense throws another wall here, you've now effectively isolated Goyo in a 3v1, at most a 3v2, with a Blitz running him down, the Sense following in to take this fight or this fight, and Nomad right behind to take those fights as well and get refrags. Now you can plant here because Warden doesn't have his C4. He used it earlier. With the Sense walls up, either at least your Blitz or your Sense survives. Best case scenario, all three of you survive. You're now back in a 3v3 against just the Warden, Fen, and Denari. And look at where these two are. Denari's off in La La Land. Oh, so much space. Like, Denari's off in La La Land. Don't expect them to know that. However, if they had a drone, Nomad still has a drone. They could have waited for a second as Dokkaebi was taking that fight, or just made the call to immediately sense wall this and fight. And flood, because now you have a free point. Instead, Celtic, let me show you what happened. Sense decides to sense off the Goyo, their best and most isolated fight. Resenses this wall, and then watch Sense's pathing. Right? There's a little gap here. A little gap here. Why not expect the Warden to be on that side, and Sense runs in, pistol out, straight through there? I don't understand what the thought process was here for this. I really don't. This is one of those, I get it happening if you're a brand new team or you haven't been playing the game that long and jumped right into trying to play comp. I get that. But if you've been playing for a little bit, because most everybody in this lobby is champ. I know Stueka's champ, I know Blue's champ, I know he's champ, I don't know about him. Prov's champ, Willie's champ, Bubbly I think is champ, question mark Warden, I know he's champ, question mark on the Denari. This just goes to show that hitting champ means nothing anymore. Because you have champ players who are doing this. Genuinely, champ players are thinking this is a good call. This is why I'm breaking these games down. Now anyone who watches this can watch. I've ragged on back-to-back. I have been ragging on back-to-back's defenses the entire time. Because not... Oh, absolutely. Not a single one of them know how to play patient and play these crosses. If I'm Denari, I'm not taking the space in ops after killing the Dokkaebi. I'm walking out and powering Kieran display or sitting inside of mask holding for that walk and giving them the space. Because they still have to think, the attackers still have to think about how to take that space. Then Blitz just walks in, Fenrir just gets shot by Warden here, Goyo walks through the senses, and they just collapse on him and they lose. In this situation, you have to choose. Either sense this part off or sense that part off. You cannot play the middle like that. Now let's go through bans here. Monty, Glaz, I mean... Monty and Glaz. Monty's a little understandable, but Glaz? Let's name better operators than Glaz. Grim. Deimos. Brava even. Allows you to play a lot more of your Aruni, your Mels, your Maestro. Like, people rag on Maestro. I mean, it's not terrible if you don't have to worry about a Brava. Dokkaebi. Snake. Hell, Ying. Double hard breach denial ban. I mean, that's just standard. Clash. Goyo, Mel. Although Mel's not really that strong of a ban anymore. Just or wait, no, this was attack. Sorry, I was thinking wrong bands. I do this sometimes, even as a decent coach. Yeah, Dokkaebi, BB could have done an ace. Cap, Grim, Thatcher. I don't know. I mean, I'm just throwing ops out there. All better than Glass. I do not like a Glass ban on there. I get it if they're abusing it, then going back to ban the Glass. But off a rip, I don't think you should ban Glass. There's so many better operators you could ban here. Because let's just say, for instance, you got rid of a Snake Cap. Now, you don't have to worry about Capitao fires. You can roam a lot more solidly with Snake. Or without Snake being on the board. Then if they start bringing the Deimos to supplement, minus Deimos. Now the only roaming op you have to worry about, or the only two roam clears, are Jackal and Dokkaebi. Because Jackal's not a terrible ban anymore. They banned, what is this simulation number? I don't know. Look at this. Like that's what you have left for drone or for roam clear outside of drones. And Jackal's not that strong anymore, so realistically you only have Dokkaebi. Dokkaebi and drones. Like there's infinitely better here than Monty Glass. Again, I recognize Glass being a good third ban on maps like Lair, Consulate, Clubhouse, Labs, these bigger maps. Glass should never be an off-rip ban here. Like Border, Ice, Border. Let's talk about the maps where Glass is a good off-rip ban. Border, Chalet. You could argue Fortress. Hey, that's 3 maps. 3 maps. All right. I'll throw in Bank. 4 maps. There's 4 maps. You need to restart Steam. That's it, Greg. That's all you got to do. Just restart your Steam. Celtic can help with that too. Yeah, I'd restart your stream and then, or not stream, Steam, and then if that doesn't work, restart your PC. But no, Lair, Labs, Cons. All of those 3 maps, Glass should never be a first ban. Restart your PC. Then it shouldn't do it anymore. If not, then you got another issue. Yeah, that's usually what happens, and that's why anytime I reset Steam, it works. But, I mean, you also could have just left Monty up and again taken Snake and Cap / Nomad, because Nomad is very powerful on Lair, or can be strong on Lair. Deimos. Like, other than these, like outside of those 2 bans, I mean, you really have a multitude of first bans you could have done. But there you go. No, don't tell me. Was Warehouse Wall soft? Monty's just annoying, so I understand taking the Monty out, especially if you're going for some of these more horizontal takes. Look at Warehouse Wall, please. Please show me Warehouse Wall. Look at the amount of space Dokkaebi was able to take. Like, this is a team that has played Lair enough to get their drones pre-positioned, get their drones in place, so that they can take space so that they can take the necessary space and force defenders to scramble. Like, the attackers are forcing the defense to play their pace, their style. And it's working. But one thing I do notice about back-to-back is they stall out a lot. Like, I watched their third map last night and they stalled heavily. But you have this snake up here clearing. Like, this is the downside. Like, this is what Team Halo did not do. They did not pull properly with their ops they had to allow these lurks, allow these splits. Oh, it is. Well, most of our stack is full of comp players and former comp players who actually know how to play the fucking game. But what are you doing over here? Why are you in med? Why are you in green? What is your purpose over here? Like, it's just not real watching some of these teams that are supposedly better and been more established than our team. It's not Warden, I think that's Sentry. Your teammate just died from the hatch! Just died from hatch! What are you doing? Yeah! I get someone's in archives, but this hatch is open. Your teammate just died from it. You can't peek archives ignoring the hatch. You're still in med for no reason. That's just gotta be it. However, they do a good job at getting, a refrag. They bring it back, 3v3. Don't get to see this action because this spectator's horrendous. Snake just drops. The wise decision. Just drops in sight because you have an isolated 3v1 on the site. He almost dies to this pipe. Keep in mind, most of these guys are supposedly champ, by the way. Plant goes down. Dokubi's holding this cross. Snake is playing too aggressive right now. This is Spectator. Look at this. Like, this is something they do. They get aggressive and they peek. This is what they were doing on defense. Like, nice shot out of Dokubi. I know. And I can't hit champ in the amount of games I've played. I'm a better player than all of these guys. I may not be a better aimer, but I'm a better player. Dokubi could have just sat here, played for this cross, had their teammate in archives, watch the walk through the rotate. No, instead, they get aggressive and just like, you know what? We're just gonna swing. Greg, we probably could have put you in these lobbies and you probably would have done better than half of these teams. The caster couldn't do better. I've seen him play. Like, I'm being unbelievably critical of both of these teams. Like, this is just a ranked stack lineup. Like, they know they're just going to be able to walk these kids down. Look, they have a Solus! Oh, this is the first Solus sighting on Lair. Like, look, they have a Solus, they have a Smoke, they have a Warden, they have a Mira, and they have a Thorn. They have a real lineup. A real lineup. Let's watch what happens. They have a real lineup. Now, no, just sit there. No, go down. Just sit there. Okay, thank you, spectator. Please stop having schizophrenia for 1 second. They're playing dorms. You know, avoiding the top floor. I don't know why they're avoiding the top floor. I'm gonna be honest. Top floor is probably one of the stronger sites on this map, but you know, let's go basement first. I get the basement first, but let's not go top floor. Instead, let's go dorms. Dorms. Well, yeah, of course the dealership's Wi-Fi is miserable, Greg. You know this. But no, let's go dorms. Pull out a pocket strat. I mean, you have a real lineup for dorms, though. I just, again, you know, probably Tachanka instead of the smoke. I get the smoke. You're probably more comfortable in smoke. Tachanka can help make all of this vert, all of this vert, all of this vert, this vert, this vert, this rotate, these feet holes, this rotate if you want. A lot faster than smoke and warden shotgun can. But look, they have a real operator lineup. Let's see how this round plays out. They're genuinely just going to go for something fast here and just suffocate them. Reinforcing this wall, this wall. Like a default dorm setup. Oh, absolutely. Like it's so he's so underutilized for how strong he can be. Look, hold on, real quick. I just want to point out they have barbed for the U-Haul walk. I'm proud of them. No barb for the Pebbles walk though. Real setup here. I don't like these walls being reinforced on this. Like these 4 walls, you can leave soft, reinforce this one, reinforce this one. They have barbed for the Mez walk. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't like it, but I don't hate it. A thorn trap could have done just fine. Maybe the barbed. Like they're trying to set this up and play it like it's a top floor defense. And I think there's a better way to set this side up. Please tell me they flood through display window because this is a terrible gap. There's no util on this window right now. There's no barbed. There may be a thorn trap, but they're just face checking this window. And Claymore, I don't know why you're Claymoring bathroom window when you should have someone jump in the bathroom window to help clear out this display guy and the server players. Ying's going to try and walk in through Pebbles and Ying through the Strone hole. Yeah, I would have saved my Claymores for something more important here. They have a sense. They have more of a better comp lineup now. But Thorn's getting a little too aggressive on this. I should just play to focus, just play to clear that, play to clear anything that comes through, play your life. Good smoke usage out of this blitz. I would have liked it if it landed a little bit shallower. Ying's just going to go in, flash out U-Haul, try and catch the smoke. Blitz gets 1 on the entry into Thorn. That's in through server, I think. So they're going to try and finish flooding through server and flooding through display. While Ying tries to pull some eyes from Pebbles. And they just collapse. Dueka. Like, this is a terrible C4 coordination. You shouldn't have lost both. Only use 1. Should have had the Ying do it. Sense does good to get refrags, but at this point, what are these two going to do? You're half health. Smoke's used, I think, 2 smoke grenades at this point. Mira's used her nitro. Ying's used only 2 candelas. So this sight hit's going to go a lot smoother for this team. And now Smoke's getting a little too aggressive here. Like, you're 2v2. If you force them to... you're 2v3. If you force them to plant, it's a 2v3. And that's all it is. Smoke does good to get the refrag here, but he just gets lazy at the end. This was such a bad map out of Team Halo. And back-to-back, they just won gunfights. That's all they did. There was no real strategy on this lair map. And it actually frustrates me. It's miserable. It's terrible. This is what the comp scene has been reduced to. Granted, that was probably a life game out of Keno and or out of Keno. I don't know how you say his name, and what's his name? I'm never 1v1ing you in Rocket League because you will shit on me, Greg. I do not play Rocket League. Hey, it was just miserable. What was the second map? I don't remember what the second map was. Oh, Consulate. I get to break down a Consulate game for you guys. Chat doesn't want to watch me 1v1 in Rocket League. Now, if you thought Lair was bad, wait till you watch these teams play Consulate. Like, again, default setup here, power position out of this Warden. Oh, it's bad, Celtic. Like, everyone just plays like it's a pug stack. No one really knows what's going on. Like, look at this. They're set up for a fast play here. They don't have Ying. Ying's banned. Grim's banned. Look at this! Where were these bans on Lair? Genuinely, where were these bans on Lair? Instead, oh, Monty, Glaz. You know, Monty and Glaz. Smoke Tachanka. I like these bans out of back-to-back. Kind of enables these fast plays. They should be expecting the fast plays, though. They absolutely... I get Ram instead of Buck. Faster vert for the plant. But, honestly... Oh, no. I want you to know. Back-to-back wins the series. No, back-to-back wins the series. Team Halo wins Consulate and then just gets slaughtered by back-to-back on Club. Look at this. Pre-placed drones on this Consulate. They have a Goyo fire on the window. You know, kind of prevent the Amaru rush. Look at this. Azami's still over here. Warden's still vending. This is a fully telegraphed fast play through CO window. Completely telegraphed fast play here. Everyone drops simultaneously. Malusi just gets a hell of a shot onto Finka, but that shouldn't have been anywhere close. Malusi should have lost that. Hey, this was fully telegraphed, and they waited so long to react to this when they could have rotated a lot quicker and collapsed on this a lot more. Glaz is just sitting outside bathroom baiting his dick off. Like, there was no strategy in this at all. This was just a quick little ranked little, oh, let's rush yellow. Or let's rush CO, let's rush yellow. It could have been a lot better. Could have been so much better. And let's go to the basement setup. I don't want to break this down anymore. No, Celtic, this is worse than 10 mans. You're watching ranked. I'm fully under the impression that no team should be playing Consulate if they don't know how to play this game properly. Consulate is such a util heavy map and a strategic map that you shouldn't really be playing it unless you have those strats or feel confident enough that you can just win every gunfight you swing. Because what I'm seeing so much more in Consulate now. No, I'm going to shatter it. Reinforce these walls. Reinforce these walls. Or I guess not these walls, but reinforce these walls. Put yourself a rotate here. Reinforce... No, leave these ones soft. Rotate here. Reinforce this. Barricade or castle off. Lounge double. Reinforce the... Here, I can show you. Oh, let me show you real quick. let me just show you real quick. I need someone who can make rotates quick. I'm just going to. We'll just play zombie. I don't care. Impacts are alright. Wait, I need castle. I wish castle still had impacts. Let me just show you. Let me just show you what they should be doing. Okay, you walk up here. You can make this a little rotate here. Okay, you play that there. You're gonna castle off this double. Okay, reinforce off this wall. This wall. Okay, you with me? Make a rotate here. Reinforce off this wall. All right. Everyone's with me so far, right? Open that hatch. Rotate here. That hatch should be closed. And it'll remain closed. Castle off this. Alright, now look at... Now! These are also reinforced. Greg, I've been playing console longer than most people have been playing this game now. Okay, that leaves you with 4. Now, keep in mind, you're probably... Castle has a lot of setup here, so you're going to have to bring someone else to help with Castle setup. Put these here. Don't reinforce that. Okay, leave that wall soft. You're going to play it like you play Basement Bank now. More soft walls. Yeah, more soft walls. Put your head holes here. You still reinforce off this. Always. Always reinforce off that wall. And then look, you just castle this door. Yeah, you can leave that soft. You can reinforce it. You're going to have a flex reinforcement here. Head holes. Reinforce this wall. I did that backwards. Flip these. Alright, just flip those. And then castle off top spiral. And now I'll walk you through the entire setup. I will. Eventually. But now look at this. Look, you have this rotate here. That window's closed. You can kind of play this a little more aggressive. Walk in and out. You have this rotate. Alright, you have those walls reinforced. So now you can hold Expo. And force them to go. For either a back execute. Because look, this is one of the hardest places to fight on this map, because you can hold the long angle from here. With this castled off, you can hold from back here and lounge. It's going to force a lot of clear. And force teams either to go up top, top down on you. Force them to bring hard destruction for this wall, and main wall. And it allows you to play these vert up here. You know, you kind of just put vert like this, vert like this. Vert on the main wall walk. Vert on the yellow walk. Or they try and fight backside quick. Look, now you have Vert back here on kitchen. Have this hatch. More Vert here. More Vert here. Like, there's so much you can do up here. And then you're right here for a quick drop. Fight here. Fight here. Like, there's just so much more things you can do as opposed to what they did here. I am not a big fan of this full bunker basement anymore. Like, I am not a big fan of this anymore because there's so much more you can do with the operators you have now. Maybe we'll go through a full rundown on Consulate. But look at this. Open that hatch. I mean, I get it, but you don't really want to play that full top down. You could even reinforce that hatch if you want. I personally wouldn't for this strat, but this is just, they're going to top down clear through admin, down Visa, and just the default clear here. If you're playing Consulate, your best friend is an admin clear. If you can clear out admin, you have so much ability to walk, put someone on the spiral skylight. You can watch this cut. Put someone to go Visa. Like, having Snake clear this is perfect. A Snake ban on Consulate is going to be huge. Yeah, look at how quick. We're 40 seconds in. They've already cleared all of third floor but yellow. They know he was forced yellow. Going to walk down. You can put someone on this window to try and hold that. Just a missed opportunity on the guy outside of yellow. But if you have this set up to play and fight this, now it becomes a lot harder for the defender or for the attackers to clear you out, and you can just drop and then bunker. I'm expecting we're gonna see Basement Consulate played a lot more like Basement Allaire. So I just threw out a little bit of an idea for Consulate Basement Defense as like a little extension. But the biggest thing it's weak to is that server walk, which is why you're gonna need a thorn. Like, for that, you're gonna need a thorn. You're definitely gonna need a bandit or a Cade. It's gonna be one up. Thorn, castle. You could chalk a castle if you need to. But that's just 3 ops. The other 2, you're probably going to look for a mute. Maybe mute Mozzie. There's your 4. Then as your 5th, you can kind of flex it. You can bring a tube to kind of help with wall. Bring a DMR. You could bring an Aruni for more traps. You can bring an I guess you could substitute Thorn for Ella. Worst case, Goyo, Clash. Try and just be like human drone for this backside. Castle's gonna bring proxies. Thor and Ella are gonna be barbed. Like, you're not really gonna have a real shield for this. Mute Mozzie are gonna be C4 and shotguns. Cade Bandit are gonna be nitro. Worst case, and I mean absolute worst case, you go barb if you want more barbed. Like, that is always an option. People underestimate how good bandit barbed can be. And then this is kind of just a flex. You get impacts for Auroras, to impact ace charges. But for this, you're not bringing a Ying ban. You're probably not going to have a Grim ban. You're going to be Snake, a Shield. Like, if you want to play Consulate, like, I know how to play Consulate. Like, I've always liked to play Consulate. You're looking at a Snake, a Shield ban, an Ace ban. Force them to bring Thermite. You're looking at... I don't know who else. You could stick a Ying ban. I personally wouldn't. Like, there's so many bans you can do with this, but traditionally I'm probably thinking more so Snake, definitely, and then probably that Ace ban. So those are the ops for this. You could float a Scopos in here. This is one of the few times where I say you could float a Vigil in it. Just make it more difficult for attackers to clear you out up there. Now, that fifth ban, or that fifth operator, I probably would push more so towards a Mel. But see, look at how much they're able to take just because they fully gave up stairs and didn't fight it at all. Like, this hatch, while important, isn't the end-all be-all of this site take. Snake stared at Tube for a minute. Like, these guys are not champ players. These guys cannot be champ players. Like, these guys absolutely cannot be champ players. I'm looking at what at highest ranked diamond, or diamond ranked from the earlier days. So I don't know anymore. I really don't know what this comp scene needs anymore. I don't know how to help it if this is what we're gonna get. Just ranked players playing like this and trying to go pro in comp, or trying to go pro. But I will post this setup somewhere. Like, even here, look at this. Just force them to deal with this. You know, they can have this wall, whatever. Barricade. You know, imagine this hatch is closed. Like, this is soft and closed. You have this barricaded. If you really, really wanted, I'm gonna do feet holes here as you hold this. There's gotta be a way to... No. See? You're exposed on a shadow angle here. So most people who have smart shadows will know you're here, but you're still a shotgun. Like, you're still a power position. Play one here. Probably going to be your mute. You can play one... Like, you can play one bottom spiral with that spiral castle. And with those, now guess what? Like, you can have one here, have two hold up top. If you're playing a bandit, it's most likely going to be your bandit in charge of all of this. At least from a yellow walk perspective. Well, you have most likely one of your others playing up here. Playing this death spot here because they can hold for this walk.